Well, welcome back to Sawmill, everybody. My name's Bill. It's Pirate Solutions Forestry. Quick little video today. I kind of destroyed the sawmill the other day. Had to fix it. I'll kind of give you guys a look and show you what happened and how I fixed it. And got a little cedar log that I just got to blow into a 6x6 to complete an order so they can come pick it up on Friday. And we've got a snowstorm coming tomorrow. So I got to get the mill put away. I just want to get this order complete so that they can come on Friday and get it. It's the sycamore order that, if you guys watch me mill the sycamore, that's what he's picking up. I'll give you a look at that too in a second. Let me just get this band on and we'll get the covers back on. I'll show you the sycamore and I'll show you the cedar log that we have to mill up. And we'll take it from there. I'll show you the damage. And I'll explain what happened. Basically what happened was I was edging off the sycamore, some of the smaller stuff, a little bit of a challenge to hold on to some of that stuff. And I had one of my edgings that was up against the big cants, very securely held, and it had a small bark inclusion in the end. And I'll show it to you in a second. It'll make more sense when you see it. But anyway, as I was edging across, when I hit that bark inclusion, the piece that was being edged off, the top of it, the waste piece, came free, grabbed the band, twisted the band up into a pretzel, smashed into the drive side roller guide, bent the bracket all up and stuffed it up underneath the machine, destroyed a brand new band, the whole 9 yards. So what I did was, since I have my old roller guide system, I put my old drive side roller guide on, and like I said, I'll show it to you in a second. You get tensioned up here. And we're back running because at that point I was down. 5, half 6. Oh, something's going on up the street. Fire engine's going by. All looks perfect. So now I'm basically back to, Norwood has already reached out and to see what parts I needed. They actually reached out to me, see what I needed to get back up and running. And they were good enough to, they asked me what parts I needed, and I just said, well, I only need the bracket that holds the roller guide on. And they said, well, you sure you don't need a whole new roller guide setup? And I said, no. I said, there's no sense in sending me the whole setup. I just need the bracket. So we're going to get that soon. And for now, we can just run the existing setup. I'll show you around a little bit and show you what happened. And let's take a look at the sycamore first, because it's pretty stuff. Here's a couple of sycamore slabs that I decided not to edge down, that they were just too pretty. You can see how smooth actually that Turbo 7 cut these. Beautiful color. This was obviously a pretty healthy tree too. Now, there was some bug damage down in here, right here. I think that might have been from whatever that limb was. If you see that little curved spot right there, whatever that limb was, it was probably taken off once upon a time, and it was got in that way, because you got a pretty good sap, nice consistent sap layer section on the edge that was still feeding this tree. So it was pretty healthy. I'll show you this is the bunk of 5/4 by 8s that came out of the big log, and then we got all this out of the small log. You can see, so you see the bark inclusion right there? So that's the culprit. Matter of fact, you can see how this piece is coming off right here. It's kind of frozen in there, but so I'll show you what happened. And not Norwood's fault. Certainly, should I have seen it? I've never had it happen before, so I didn't know. I wouldn't know to look for it. Sorry, I got emergency vehicles going by the house here. So here's the piece right here. This was the top edging, so I was edging along like that, and you see right there, there was that bark inclusion, and this is where it all went bad, where the piece ripped off, the band grabbed it, it turned the band into a pretzel, ripped the band off, and smashed into the roller guide, and did the roller guide in. So that was it. It was just this little inclusion going like that. As soon as I hit it, this piece that was on top came free. So the band grabbed it and smashed it over into that roller guide on that side and bent the crap out of the bracket. I'll show you from the back side. Put back on my old system. It bolts up through the top up there. And I got it all leveled and lined up and at the right height, and we're all back up and running. So here's a cedar log. It's not a very good log. He asked me what it would be good for. I said a 4x4 or 6x6. So he said, well, try to give me a 6x6. So that's what we're going to cut. Now there's going to be some inclusions in it. It's not going to be a clean 6x6. And I don't think I could get a clean 4x4, to be honest with you, because these inclusions in this are so deep. But it's still going to have some character. It's going to be a nice sound 6x6, but it's definitely going to have some inclusions in it. So we're in a short log situation here. I'm running it on manual guides, manual stops and manual clamps. And hopefully we can keep this thing steady enough to not go smashing into the rest of the world. I got Danny over here hunting chipmunks. He's got a bum foot, so I have a boot on his foot. But he wanted to come out so bad. I don't know if you can see the blue. You can see a little blue booty on his foot there, just to keep his wound clean. He doesn't seem to be bothering him too bad today. But I got to keep an eye on him too. So let's see if we can mill this thing off. I do want to say to Tom from Mechanix, these Mechanix gloves right here have become, this was the pair, I don't know if you guys remember, if you watch my videos, when Mechanix started sending me prototype gloves to test. This was the pair that was kind of loose, and I didn't really like the loose fitting. I'll tell you what, guys, these have become my go-to winter do everything gloves. I mean, I got grease on them. I've done all kinds of stuff with these. They're comfortable. They're fairly warm. I mean, right now it might have gotten out of the teens now. It might be 20. But for working outside, I load the stove with them inside. I keep them inside near the wood stove. I'm loading the stove with them to keep from burning the crap out of myself. I'm using these for everything. These things are awesome. They're wicked durable. I mean, they're not even close to being worn through, and I have done some serious crap with these. So, Tom from Mechanix, these are a home run. They're prototypes. They're not out yet, but these are a home run. So I'm going to pause you guys quick, get you kind of set up, fire up the mill so it can start warming up a little bit. Get you a good view, and we'll go through and mill this into a 6x6 and call it a video. This is just a quick little update on what's going on. Oh, the trailer order, all the black oak's gone. They came and got it yesterday. So we're going to be moving on to milling 4x4s and spruce for orders here is what we got going on. And I got to mill some funky 8x8s with angles on them for ramps for pavers. Paver that goes on the road, puts asphalt down. To get those up onto the trailers, they use these little ramps. I'm not sure if you're familiar with how a paver works, but they have like tracks on the bottom. They're very low to the ground, and they have to drive up onto the trailer a little bit, and they use these ramps. They want me to cut them some, so we're going to be doing that too. 4 foot long, 8x8 in oak, 8x8s, and then 2 feet in an angle that goes from the 8 inches down to 1 inch. And we're going to cut it all on the sawmill, and I'll do a special setup to cut those angles and everything. It's going to be, should be pretty neat. But let's get to this. I'm going to pause you guys and get you a good view, and we'll go to town. So my methodology when I'm cutting a small cant like this on a small log is kind of, I've got my stops down at 4 inches. In theory, I can never hit them that way. As long as I can keep the log stable with them down there, I'm going to keep them down there. I could roll this by hand without a PV or anything. You can move it around. You can almost, I can pick this log up. But what I want to do is I kind of want to skim into my 8x8 and see where I can take the most off into my 6x6, where I can take stuff off and where I can't, especially with all these inclusions. So we want to take off the worst stuff that we can. So we'll get a fairly small flat side. We'll flip it over. We'll get a flat side. We'll flip it on its side. We'll turn it into a square, and then we'll see how we can take it down to get it to a 6x6. It's only going to take a few minutes. So that should give us the best one, rather than taking a huge cut and then ended up with a really shitty side. If I take a huge cut on the top and make a nice big flat, when I flip it over, because of the inclusions and stuff, I could end up with a real shitty side, have a real bad side and then a good side. So kind of want to try to make it a little bit even. So let's see what we can do. I've got a Silvertip Turbo 7 on the sawmill. It's not brand new, but I think it's fine for this. Cedar cuts fairly easily. I don't think that I don't want to waste cuts, so just take a measurement down here. So this is going to be around 9 inches. We're going to take it. There's a couple little bony things sticking off that hopefully don't interfere. Typically when you're doing this, if my opening face is at 9 inches, it'll be it's gonna, my side face will probably start at 9 inches too, but we'll see. This could be too small. We might have to take a flitch off it. We'll find out. Danny, you come close, please. I'm gonna, oh, I'm not at 9, that's why. So let's just try it there. Let's see what happens. So I think that's a good enough opening face to get us going there. Danny. It could use a flitch, but I think I'm going to flip it over. I think we're going to kind of get it square first so we can take it down the smartest way possible. So let's just do that. And if I can't make a 6x6 out of it, which is a possibility, and we'll try to make maybe we'll try to make a good 4x4 out of it. It's just one of those. You got to be careful with these small logs. You've got to hold them securely or they're going to go like this or they're going to go like this. So just trying to make sure that I got it. Now it can't go that way because we have it on 2 stops, but when the band hits here, it can pull it like this. So let's see what we got here. This cut looks like 8. We'll try it at 8. That'll give us 2 inches to clean up the other sides. It's going to be close. This cut was a really good example of why I'm doing it this way, because I got a way better opening face on this side now. This side almost could do a 6x6. It's over 6 inches flat on this side, which means I have 2 inches on the other side I can take off to get the other side to look like this. So we're gonna flip it on its side. Get it squared up, and I'll almost guarantee you, just from having done this once or thrice, I'll almost guarantee you that our cuts are going to be similar to 9 and 8. I've gone through orders like this where I've had to cut tons of these out of small stuff, and it seems to be just the way it works. Well, let's see if we get it squared up. Sometimes you're going to have to pull your stops up, and you're going to have to remember that you did that to square up against. You want to keep, you don't want this, I don't want to come up that high though. So I'm just going to keep that one at 6. This one, I'm going to go down to 7. Just want to make sure I don't get into trouble. That's perfectly square right there. Oh, I have to recheck it. That was dumb. Ugh. Yeah, that's good. Feels secure. So I'm going to guess that this cut's going to be around 9. Just might even, yeah, it's going to be close. It's going to be close. I think I'm going to, just going to look at the other side real quick. I'm going to try it at 9, just like we did on the other side. I'm going to come up a little bit. 9.5. Let's try it there. Yeah, let's flip it over and make it a square. And we'll take our worst sides and we'll take our flitches out of our worst side to get down to our worst sides to get down to our final 6x6. I think this might end up being a 6x6. So we want to get down to 4 here so we can never hit them. Unless we have to go to a 4x4. Should be able to mill the rest of the log out from there. Well, let's get down in the 8 range and let's just see what that looks like. I'm going to come down a little more, 7.5 maybe. Let's try it right there. I would almost say that that's one of our better faces there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of the other two sides down a little bit. I'm going to see which is the worst. All right, this side's the best, this side's the worst. So we're going to take some off of this side. At least a 1-inch flitch. Then we'll do the same thing on the other side. Make sure we stay up on our bunk here. This has got a big inclusion in both sides here, so see where we are. I think we're at 8. Yeah. We're going to come down to 7, take a flitch off it. I'll give them all the flitches too. And let's do the same thing going the other way here. So we've got a little inclusion here on the end, a couple inclusions on the side. This side's worse. I'm going to spin this one down to 7. Get rid of some of this here and this here. See how high I am. It's not necessarily going to come to 7. That might have been an offset. So is that 7.5? All right, I'm going to come to 6.5. So I can get my tape measure clip back on my belt. So we'll come to 6.5. And then probably just do this process one more time here. So I've got inclusion, inclusion, inclusion. This side's better. So we're going to take off this side to 6. I think we're going to end up with a pretty decent 6x6 here, to be honest with you. I think it's going to be nice. So we're going to take this to 6, and then do it one more time the other way. And then one more cut the other way. We're going to have a pretty nice 6x6 here, actually. So I've got some inclusions here. Got a pretty good one on that side. I think we're going to take it off this side. Yep, that's the right side. Take this side to 6, give him a 6x6. That's what he asked for. This is going to kind of be a skim cut. I actually think that came out pretty nice, to be honest with you. I'll give you a look at it. That, I think, is going to conclude my milling. My mill's running great with that other roller guide on here. Perfect 6. Perfect 6. So it's perfect. We're cutting right on dimension. And I'll give you a look at it. Now, there are some inclusions in it, but overall, it's fairly nice 6x6. And if he wants it cut down to something else, we know we can do that for him too. But overall, you can see still some of the inclusions in it, but it's not bad. Be a beautiful post in the right situation. You know, if you wanted to use it as, I don't know, a mailbox post or something holding up a deck or something like that. It's completely sound. It's pretty. I think it could, I think coming down to 5x5 would make it almost perfect. But we can't put the wood back on. And if it were me, I would want it like this. Now, if a customer said, I don't like the inclusions, take it down some more, would just go through the same process and probably come down to 5x5. But it's nice and sound and pretty. So there he is. There he is. The man, the myth, the legend. Probably getting ready to go back in the house. So what I have to do is I got to get that stuffed on his stacks. And he doesn't want his wood to get rained. I asked him to come get his wood yesterday, and now he's not coming till Friday. So we're going to get a snowstorm tomorrow. So I have to come up with something to cover that bunk and that bunk. I'll guarantee that bunk's frozen solid. But I got to grab a few tarps, just throw them over it, try and keep the snow off it. And I'll get this thrown in there. We'll get these slabs thrown in there. And he's going to have a pretty nice order. I think I might even toss him those 2 pieces of oak. I'm not sure yet. But, yeah, so that's what we're up to. We're back running again. I do like the way my old roller guy setup. It's not adjustable like the higher dollar setup that I wrecked. But I do like how solid that drive side roller is. It mounts better. It's really solid. The whole sound of the band and everything, and even while I'm milling, is completely different. So we're good to go. I'll probably run it this way for a while before I put that other one back on when they send it to me. But I want to do a little quick video, a little update. Hopefully you learned something from it. If you think that I did it all wrong, you could tell me that. If you do it different, blah, 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 blah. But all I'm trying to do is just give him, on a product like cedar with all the inclusions in it, I'm just trying to give him the best faces that I can. I think it came out good. It came out really nice. So a really nice looking little beam. And that's pretty much it for now. We are still waiting on some more editing stuff. So that's coming. We got a new computer setup coming. My wife just got a new phone, new i16 Pro. Her video wasn't working well. The stabilization wasn't working well on her other iPhone. So she just got a new one of those, and we got a new iMac Mini coming to use with her MacBook to get into the editing side. So once we get all our system in place, you guys will see a better product on the videos. But I hope I keep it informative. I hope everybody learns something when you watch. I know I'm not the most entertaining sort, but maybe I'll get into you know, tripping over stuff and falling on the ground and yelling and swearing and things like that, and try to make it funny. But for now, we're back in business. Everything's running good. We're frozen like a popsicle, but we can still cut. And this week, we are going to be cutting a lot of spruce. And they're off-size logs. It's going to be challenging to hold them, get them in good spots. It's going to be similar to this log. I mean, you know, I think I just almost want to have a, if anybody ever asks me, how big should I cut the log? I am going to tell everyone, don't cut it any less than 8'6". But there is a novelty and need when somebody brings you a shorter log. I hope the way I have the mill set up that I can still deal with them, because, you know, you don't want to turn away that money either. So I think that flexibility of being able to cut 4-footers, 3-footers, 6-footers, and all that is valuable, because a lot of these people, that's the biggest size log they could even deal with. You know, they wouldn't even be able to bring you a big log. So a lot of times that's the way it is. But if they can bring you, you know, if they call you up and say, how long should I cut these? 8 foot? Say, no, don't cut them 8 foot. The 8 foot's the worst size they could possibly cut it for me. No less than 8'3". That's even bad. Unless your cuts are real good. You know, I want to start at 8'6". So just something to think about when they call you up and say, hey, I got this cool log and we're going to cut it up. How, you know, how should I cut it? Now, it depends on what they want out of it too. So, you know, if they want 5-foot boards, and tell them to cut it 10'6". It just works out better with the bunks. So hope you guys are having a great day. Hope it's not frozen and snowy there. And let's pray to God that tomorrow we don't get buried and get put out of business, because it's supposed to be decent on Friday. And then we'll be in the Super Bowl. And then next week, it's going to be just mill. Hopefully the weather cooperates. I'm still balancing firewood in a warm house and being able to do some work out here. I did get my last box of my Turner too. Just everything's frozen over there. I can't put it in right now. So that'll be coming. But I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching. For now, for Danny and me, it's Pirate Solutions out.